What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 5. So, y'all, we start this episode off with Kevin, Curtis, and Tiffany. Now, I feel like the last review, I kept calling Curtis Kevin. Curtis is the one that got his ass knocked out. Kevin is the one that did the favor, okay? So, Tiffany... So Kevin done knocked Curtis out. Curtis is laid out on the ground. And it looked like the police were already there. I don't know if that's the way they edited it. I don't know. But my thing is, if the police was already there, why didn't they stop that man from pulling off? Because Kevin very nicely got in his car, told him to get out of his way. He backed up and he rolled out. Now, he immediately did what most of us would do. He called his mama. He said, "Mama, I think I'm going to jail." She said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, let me tell you what happened. I get down there to pick her up. Not only does she have another dude picking her up, but she act like she don't even know me. She walked past me like she don't know me. And I had a problem with that. And then the other dude was getting in my face. He was clowning me. Told him to leave me alone or I was going to knock him out. He said, "What you going to do about it?" He said, "I'm going to knock you out." He was like, "Do it." And he did it. But I'm just not understanding why the police let that man pull off. But whatever. The police did let him pull off. And in the midst of him pulling off, the EMTs showed up. They worried about him having a concussion. They worried about him hitting his head. Like, all of this stuff that's going on. Tiffany is sitting there embarrassed, like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And what ends up happening later on in the episode is she's sitting there by herself. Now, I guess Curtis left her sitting there, or she told Curtis she needed some space or time. So Curtis comes back around and she tells Curtis, "Listen, I'm just confused. I don't know. I got a lot going on, but I just need some time to figure this all out." Now, Tiffany, here's my question and here's my problem, okay? This morning you were fine. You didn't need no time, okay? You was cool. You had it figured out. You said Kevin is a womanizer and you was a little bit worried about the fact that he always got women around and you just thought that Curtis was the safer choice until you saw Curtis get his ass knocked out. See, women, when she saw Curtis, that his stock dropped 30 points when she saw him get his ass knocked out. He was laid out on that concrete. That was it. That was it. So then next thing you know, she's calling Kevin to come back. And Kevin talking about something, "Oh, now you want me to come back?" And she was like, "I'm sorry. I was confused." And she calls him to come back and get her. And she going to say in her confessional, "Oh, well, I guess he's stuck with me now." Kevin, you a fool. You a big fool. You are a huge fool. But whatever. Be a fool. Next we see Indy and Harry. Now listen, they got a lot going on. We know that last episode he got pulled over by the police and he got a citation. Now what's funny is the police put that he was white on the citation. He was like, "Ain't nobody white," but maybe that's the reason why you walked away with a ticket instead of in handcuffs, baby. You better take the gift and keep it moving. Okay, moving on. So they go to the psychic and Harry doesn't want to hear nothing this psychic is talking about. He don't believe nothing. He giving the woman a hard time. He questioning everything she's saying. He's explaining why what she's saying is fake. And of course, it's irritating India because she believes in, people's psychic abilities and she really moves accordingly. Until the end, where the psychic told Indy, "Slow down, take things slow, you're moving too fast." Now all of a sudden he was cool with that. He was like, yeah. She was like, "Oh, so you happy now that she's saying slow down, we moving too fast, right?" Then we find out he gets a phone call. He gonna say it's his PO, and he walks off to go take the call from his PO, and come to find out it's a woman. But whoever this woman is, she knows Indy. She said, "Oh, you with Indy?" He was like, "Yeah." "Oh, you with her now?" "Yeah, I'm with her now. I just walked away." And he keeps saying in his confessional how much he loves India, how much he loves her, but he ain't ready for this. He not ready for this. And all I'm saying is, that's the conversation you need to be having with her before you allowed her to move her and her daughter from Maryland to Ohio. That's the conversation you should have had with her. It's okay to say, "Listen, I love you and I'm enjoying the time. I know all you done for me and you done held me down, but I'm not ready for this. You want too much." Anyway, later on in the episode, we find out about his daughter, which y'all might already know he had a daughter because, they was on the before the 90-day situation. Before the lockup, whatever. Love during lockup. But he has a daughter, I believe her name is Ava. So he goes to visit her, and he talks about how, she basically, when he got locked up, she was a baby. He said he's never spent any birthdays with her other than the day she was born. He got locked up, and the mother has been telling her that he's away at superhero camp. Because, of course, you're not going to tell the child that daddy's in jail. They don't even understand the concept. So he visits with his daughter, and, all that's cute and sweet. And then after that, his ex-girlfriend / baby mama, I hate the term baby mama. But anyway, ex-girlfriend / baby mama says, okay, so what's the plan? And he was like, what you mean plan? She was like, what's the plan? Like, are you ready to be full-time daddy? And you know what I can appreciate that she said? She was not just talking financial. She said, listen, I want to know, are you ready to be full-time daddy? Are you picking up from school? Are you dropping off at school? Are you helping with homework? Are you taking for doctor's visits? Are you taking her to the park? Are you going to help buy clothes? Are you going to, I appreciate that it wasn't all about money, 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 money. It was, are you ready to be an active part of your child's life? That's what I need to know. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. He let her know that he has a girlfriend. She was like, okay, that's cool. That's cute. I don't get the impression that she said, listen, we were together, and I realized that I didn't want to move the way he was moving. I wanted something more and something better, and I didn't want to go down that path. And, she clearly knew something, because he ended up in jail barely after she had the baby. So she clearly, saw the direction that was headed in. But yeah, y'all, this Harry's... Yeah, I know in real time they've already broken up and stuff, but just watching this whole situation is just it's a bit much. It's a bit much. So then we have a new couple, Chaz and Bronwyn. Now, generally they don't introduce new couples this late in the season. I find it interesting that we're getting this new couple. I'm wondering if maybe a couple stopped filming or story wasn't that interesting, because even if we don't get the they got out of jail part, generally we know who they are in the first couple of episodes. But anyway, so Chaz is a former military vet. We found out he plays in a band. Him and Bronwyn have been talking for a couple of years on the phone, the whole deal. We also find out that he has been married 4 times and that he is just unlucky in love. Of course, he's smitten and he's, all caught up. And the plan, she's in Seattle and he lives in Tennessee right now. And the plan is, of course, when she gets out of jail, he's going to fly up there and they're going to get married. So we see him go and have dinner with his sister. He said, my sister, I moved to Tennessee to be closer to her, and, this is going to be her first time meeting Bronwyn on the phone. They're going to do a FaceTime call. He said, but, and then he explained to the sister what the deal was, and his sister was like, listen, I don't know how I feel about this situation. My brother has been through a lot. He's been unlucky in love, and I just don't want to see him getting taken advantage of. We found out that his last wife did die. She died of a drug overdose, and it's always interesting to me how people word things, because he was like, she was a victim of the opioid crisis. No, she was a drug addict. She wasn't a victim of the opioid crisis. She was a drug addict. Like, she did... Anyway, y'all get the point I'm saying. And so the sister is really worried now. The sister gets to talk to Bronwyn, and of course Bronwyn says all the right things. I love him. We're motivated. I want to do the right thing. I don't want to go back to jail. Blah, blah, blah. I love your brother. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, everything she's supposed to say, because what else you going to say? Nah, I'm going to take up everything he got, and I'm going to leave him hanging. Right? So we'll see how this heads up. Child, then we have Kayla and Martell. Now, last we saw Martell, he was getting in the car because he was mad that the stove wasn't wiped down, and he said something to Kayla, and Kayla took offense to it. So he comes back the next day, don't know where he was all night. He comes back the next day with a dining room set. Now, the apartment is empty, and maybe this is a conversation that they had talked about beforehand, and all of this was already a set in place or a plan. But baby, he done walked through the door with a whole dining room set, but no apology. Now, he said, listen, I don't feel like I did nothing wrong. All I did was ask you when was the last time you cooked. No, that's not what you did, sir. You asked her when was the last time she cooked, and when she told you, then you said, why you ain't clean the stove? Now, you know how things in the moment hit you a certain way, but in retrospect, you like, it's hard to explain to somebody else. Now, I can understand why the next day after y'all done went to sleep and woke up, I can understand why you're like, okay, it wasn't that big of a deal. But I also understand where Kayla is coming from. I 100%, because it was the way he said it, and then he, said about the laundry. And I mean, my thing is, listen, most people got shit in their laundry room. I know if you come to my house on any given day, you gonna find clothes in the laundry room, whether they clean, dirty, or it's somewhere in the middle, whether they need to be folded, whatever. That is what a laundry room is for, to put laundry in. Now I get it that you might be a little OCD, but maybe she not. Clearly that stove didn't bother her, and I'm just gonna go ahead and be honest with you. It might not have bothered me either, okay? Not for 24 hours, like you cooked, it was late, you were hungry, you'll wipe it up later. But ask me what Kayla was doing when he walked up in that door with that damn dining room set. Cleaning that stove. So they get to arguing, and her voice gets elevated, and he's like, whoa, 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 who you yelling at? I'm gonna need you to take that bass out your voice. Who you talking to? And she was like, I'm talking to you. And she was like, you disrespected me. So then she ends up leaving this time. So she comes back. He was like, where you been? She was like, I was out for a walk. And so she was like, look, maybe we need to she said, at this point, I know that I got to make a decision. Like, either, I'm clearly not going to get an apology. He clearly doesn't feel like he did anything wrong, And at this point, I just got to make a decision to just decide I don't want to throw away what we built. So she tries to like talk to him and explain to him why what he said offended her. And so he was like, I can apologize if you felt like I embarrassed you. Because she said something about being embarrassed. He said, but if you're waiting for me to apologize for disrespecting you, I'm not, because I didn't disrespect you. And she was like, how you gonna tell me that whether I was disrespected? I'm the one that was disrespected. He was like, well, I didn't disrespect you. She was like, but you can't tell me how to feel. Like, I felt like you disrespected me. He was like, but I didn't. So she starts yelling again, and he was like, yo, who you yelling at? Who you yelling at? She was like, why? I'm yelling at you. Why was the problem? He was like, yo, he was like, we can talk, but we don't need to disrespect. She was like, oh, am I disrespecting you? And he didn't even get it. He was like, yeah, you disrespected me. She was like, but I'm not. And he didn't even understand that she was throwing it right back in his face, what he said. Like, just like you're feeling disrespected right now, that's how I felt. So you can't tell me not to feel disrespected. Just like I can't tell you that like that you shouldn't feel disrespected. Like, disrespect is disrespect. But he was like, I ain't disrespect you. So she mad all over again now. So now she's like, you know what? Maybe we just need some space, because clearly we're not clicking on this. And certain things we can agree to disagree on, and certain things we need to come to some resolution on. And like she said, the way you said it to me, and in that moment, like, was it necessary? Like, I'm showing you the apartment. Was it necessary? Kayla, baby, it's not going to get no better. I'm just go ahead and tell you now. It is not going to get any better, and you're going to have to make a decision. Like, I understand you don't want to throw away 13 years, but baby, wait till you tell him that you didn't wait for him like you said you did. Although, I don't know why it's ridiculous for him to feel that way, but okay. Whatever. So anyway, that's them, child. So we have Taylor and Chance. So Taylor and Chance, child, they sneak off to go try to, have some alone time. They gonna take their happy asses down to a cemetery. Y'all couldn't find nowhere else to go. Y'all couldn't find nowhere else to go and have some alone time but to a cemetery. So while they're out, Bobby is supposed to be watching the kids. So they go have their alone time, child. They come back. The kids is off the hook. Bobby is in her room, minding her business, nowhere to be found, while the kids are tearing up the house. Now, clearly, this is something that Taylor is used to, because she was unbothered. But Chance was pissed. Chance was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this. The kids are out of control. This don't make any sense. We can't even go out and spend some time together without worrying about what the kids are gonna do. So then he says, Bobby can't watch the kids anymore. Now Taylor is upset, because she was like, how he gonna decide what my sister can and can't do? But baby, why that 5-year-old tell him, You can't tell her what to do. This her house. Baby, you know that pissed him off. Oh, now he's mad. Oh, he is pissed. And Taylor was like, "Why you mad at me? I didn't say it. The 5-year-old said it. Yeah, but you didn't correct her. You needed to correct her. You need to correct her." And so, of course, Taylor is upset. She's pissed off about the situation because she is torn. That is her sister, and she doesn't see what the big deal is, which tells me that this is what they do on a regular basis. Like, if she didn't think it was a problem with them kids jumping on that couch and being off wilding out and all that, then that tells me that's what they do. Chance, that is their routine, honey. You ain't gotta like it. But that's what it is, baby. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway. Last but not least, we have Lacey and Antoine. And we really didn't see too much of nothing with this other than him getting out. We see her getting the house ready and got balloons and a welcome home. And she made him some food. And we see her driving down there, waiting. She had to go stay at a hotel overnight to be, by the place. And then we see the next day he's getting out of jail. And he's saying his confessional that he can't get right. That he just been in jail. And that, and even in jail, he can't get right. He stayed in solitary confinement because he couldn't follow the rules. And all I could do was hear his mama. I mean, even though she was slurring her words, all I could do was hear the mama trying to warn her, Lacey, my son ain't no good. He ain't gonna do right by you. Listen, hard head make for a soft behind. You may not always like the messenger, but you better listen to the message. Anyway, that's what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.